address of your emergency.
I'm at Homewood Suites by Hilton. The address is 1025 Elm Street.
1025 Elm at the Homewood Suites.
Right.
Okay. And what unit number are you there in the front?
Okay. I don't know what to do. Each location I go to, police interrupt me having shelter and housing. I get threatened three or four times a day. There's identity theft. I get ran off roads. They play games with all transit I use, including church buses. I tried to get in witness protection. They had intimidation and bullying to keep me from being in witness protection. Blacklisted from all. I've traveled to Texarkana, every location. I'm being monitored and violated by the government, defrauded out of funds, and absolutely no consequences. Crimes with my daughter, keeping me away from family members, covered for hit and runs, gang stalking, assault with a deadly weapon. And each location, I can't combat it because each location I go to, they're abusing power to keep me from being in every location. Stalking me, stalking's a crime, but since it's government officials, they repetitively keep getting away with it. Each location I go to, struggling with bags or no whatever is going on, they come and interrupt me getting services everywhere as they did before COVID, even down to purchasing food and water, even at church. So I have begged for my life and I have not been heard for years. Tears, pain, suffering, anguish. Trying to check myself in a mental hospital. They're there with scams and
Police
violating.
come out to you
I'm sorry?
part of your issue?
I'm sorry?
You want to meet with police?
I don't know what to do because police come. I've already done this. I need to be in witness protection, but they keep coming giving me criminal trespasses.
Protection.
What's your name?
What do you need to be in witness protection for?
May I have your name?
My name's Operator 50. What do you need to be in witness protection for?
This is this part of the psychological abuse I've had to endure years on the hotel's phone. And at another hotel, I saw a device plugged into the room, controlling my calls. I caught them. They were pretending like they were doing instruction. And it was plugged in the phone outlet. And my calls were off that whole day. And I said, "What is this you got plugged into the outlet? My calls have been strange all day." And he panicked and called the front desk to remove me. He could not explain what that device was plugged into the outlet for the phone. And while I called all day, all over the place, it was getting denied services. So I'm not quite sure if this is a non-emergency line and I'm telling you everything that I went through and you would be condescending as they've done years if they weren't hanging up in my face covering for crimes actively being committed. Because if someone is monitoring me and illegally installing devices to counterfeit calls as they've been doing years and repetitively getting away with the corrupt people, that's criminal. You don't come in on properties and hotels and then put in cameras like you're doing law enforcement and you're actually committing crimes. So then when I go in the hall, they're ready and prepared waiting for me because I've already been monitored in the hotel rooms and everywhere else on the planet, including in my own apartment. So if that's what's going on, like what I suspected has been going on years, this is criminal. Highly illegal for corrupt people, crooked people to do this. Why would that man remove me for seeing that device in the phone outlet?
Okay, and who did that? Do you know?
I just don't understand why I reported to you as well as a whole bunch of 911 operators the chaos I went through, and they haven't been they have not been compassionate. In fact, covered for crimes. And I don't know what that device was in that outlet because crooked people don't need this much power to abuse. I think it's a threat to national security,
Okay.
especially if they're insane.
What crimes happened to you specifically?
Are you being condescending? I just told you I've
I'm
been.
asking you a question, ma'am.
Sir, I don't know what to do because you guys are abusing too much power. And you would have to see this to believe it.
Who's
So I call on the
power?
hotel phone and they have devices installed at the hotels. So I experience this chaos. And each environment is psychologically abusive. Calling on my phone in person everywhere I go. How much more must one human being endure? What's up with the mind games for years?
Ma'am.
What's that about?
Are people monitoring your calls when you call out, or people harassing you by calling you?
I think that we're deflecting. I don't know what to do because I think that this is too much power to abuse and what that was in that outlet. And all my calls were really abusive. And just like this one. And covering for crimes. So when I wasn't recording, I would be hung up on and really, really mistreated. I think that this is too much for one human being to have to endure. I have tried to check myself in mental hospitals to deal with all the pain and suffering, and I'm violated there. Why would the government go through this extreme to torture a human being?
Okay, I'm not sure.
So what is the solution? Because I haven't been rendered any for years. What am I supposed to do?
I can send you the police and they can come and speak to you.
But here's the problem. The police cover for it and they'll just have the hotel give me a criminal trespass. How do I combat the police committing crimes and setting up this device in these phones to have me speak with counterfeits and then control my phone and go to my provider and tell them to cover for it and then give me a criminal trespass to enforce their crimes? So I call all day, in fact years, to be trapped in the same chaos. How do I combat going to libraries and being on hotel computers and then they malfunction?
Do you want to keep talking?
I don't think that from my experience, sir, that your behavior is appropriate. I think that there should be some compassion for one human being, and I haven't even been able to get it at church. Is there a particular reason why you're not alarmed at my experience, sir? And why you would cover for it?
I'm not covering for anything, ma'am. Do you want police to your location? If you don't want police, you can contact the Internal Affairs Department. I'm sure they'd be more than willing to investigate that.
I went to Internal Affairs and they covered for it and then threatened to give me a criminal. I'm telling you what happened with Internal Affairs so I can get some resolutions because I haven't been able to get any years.
So,
At Internal Affairs, they threatened a criminal trespass for me trying to report identity theft and threatened to take me to jail. And then they can't find like 70-something reports, probably close to 100 now. Because we get threatened 3 or 4 times a day, pickpocketed routinely. They would not take a report for that. So they built up. I was trying to establish a pattern of someone railroading me and doing things to my life, the identity theft. I wanted them to see that it was on purpose because it was too much conflict. But they can't find any of the reports or they won't give me the reports for years. So I don't know what to do because this is criminal, and I went to the FBI, and at the FBI they had a com there and gave me a criminal trespass there. Is this going to be my life? People just to rack up felonies and with no consequences year after year. Am I not allowed to have a life? So what they recommended for me to do was move out the country. Is that what I have to do to be treated like a human being? Is to leave this country? That's what I was told. They said someone told me that if I did not like the way that I was treated, I could always leave the country.
Okay, and who told you that?
It was Captain Hernandez. I think it was Captain Hernandez. But we're deflecting. I would like to know in my crisis what to do because I haven't been able to keep the government under control or get anyone to govern them and hold them accountable. So each location I go to, they're committing crimes, including with family members, to sabotage my experience and make everything psychologically abusive. I don't want to be targeted and forced into this extreme amount of abuse. I don't know why I would be mistreated, and I haven't been rendered any solutions for years. If I go get on the bus right now, I'll get violated on the bus if I'm not recording, and they'll also endanger others' lives while I'm riding the bus.
Name, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
What is your name?
It's Keyana Clark, Keyyana, Clark, Clark.
And your phone number?
Okay, can you repeat that?
I said, as far as you're aware, you don't have any mental health diagnosis?
Mental health? I've been getting framed with it a long time. I just don't know how long I will have to endure this. Maybe that is, the captain was right. Maybe this country's not willing to treat me like a human being for profit. I mean, no one's holding these people accountable. So I don't know. I guess I just have to, because we've been playing this game years. Like I said, I don't know what that device was plugged into that outlet in the room opposite me.
The Homewood Suite?
I'm sorry?
Was that there at the home?
No, that was a hotel in Irving. Because the calls were weird. They were all starting arguments and being condescending like you. And each call. I call homeless shelters all day, domestic violence places, and they're all like you. They make it drawn out, make me repeat myself over and over, want to frame me with mental illness, have absolutely no compassion, like churches in every environment I'm in. I mean, I would like to be around like-minded human beings that have hearts, but I haven't been able to find it. If I had a choice, I don't want to be around people that condone this insanity. If they choose to condone it and tolerate it and think it's acceptable, that's on them. But I would like to be, if I had a choice around like-minded individuals that would take this for what it's worth, as being sick. But I have yet to find it staggering from location to location, even family members, to never see it. So is that what this world is about? Is this acceptable to everyone? Or is my environment controlled for me to only be around people that find it acceptable?
Okay, ma'am, I can't speak to how the world is, so all I can do is send
So
you
this is the non-emergency line, and I haven't been rendered any solutions, and you're trying to frame me with mental illness and not, I don't know what
I
to do.
only asked you a question, ma'am.
And then I told you all of my experiences, and then you said something about, what do I need? What did you say? I can't remember what you said, but you didn't understand what I needed help with. After I told you about the assault with
No,
a
I
deadly
asked you
weapon,
for
and
a
then what the
reporting
police were
of 10
doing,
different
and I
things.
think that all of this was
But
out of
that's
control even before COVID.
typically you were trying to report.
So if I can't call 911, can't get in a domestic violence place, can't get in witness protection, blacklisted from shelters, and they go to every environment I'm in and family members, I'm just stuck. And I just hope and pray that one day that someone will be held accountable. I don't know what to do, as I haven't for years, being forced to live in a tent. Okay, because I'm pretty sure that whatever device was plugged into the phone, to that jack that they got caught with, is probably plugged into another jack here. I don't think these calls are authentic, even on the hotel's phone. I think that there's voyeurism crimes going on in these hotel rooms. They're so crooked, they're watching me. And then when I leave, they set up chaos. And I think that they're controlling the calls at the hotel. But here's the kicker: these are crooked people. This is crooked people you abusing law enforcement. These aren't good people doing this. So they're setting up a sting operation to enforce crimes and repetitively keep getting away with it. Hacking phone networks, computers, enforcing civilians to rack up charges with them, felony after felony after felony enforced. I don't know what to do, sir. I'll go see what the shelter has to say. Obviously, I'm not around. Like I said, a lot of people that can, I just haven't been, can't believe people stomach this. But like I said, I haven't yet to find people that find it as disturbing as I do. Okay, thank you. So what's the use of going around staggering? I have a limp. I need knee replacements with all these things. They put me on punishment trying to let me know that I don't have a right to report abuse at every location. Our calling, they connector wanted me to know I will get control. So you wanted to go to Cornerstone. We don't want you to go there. We'll slander you and put you off. The abuse has been escalated. So like I said, I may not look like it in the large majority of my life. People did not know my experience. But no, this has really, really been traumatic. Really traumatic. And it's not easy. I have been really close to my kids. So in my kids, the text that you see in that behavior, that is not my kids. If someone were to do law enforcement, they would say that your kids are really, really respectful. Especially my oldest son. There was a gang stalker that said she has tried to find someone to say, this was her exact words. She said, I tried to find someone to say something negative about him, and no one would. He very respectful. My kids were known for that. This is completely out of character. That's why I thought they were cracking up or on drugs. The profanity, disrespect, that nothing. They didn't even curse with friends in front of me. So it is what it is. What do you do? I don't know how much more to beg for my life to get ignored.